My name is Brogan. Hello. This is my pottery shed where I do pottery. Um, Today we're going to throw some vases, probably just two. I'm going to introduce myself. This is my first time really doing this and talking to a camera. I'll record myself throwing and post it on TikTok, but I don't really talk. Usually I'll just listen to my music, get in my zone. But we're going to try something different. I would just want to just kind of share, what I make and the process, because I think I make some pretty cool stuff, and hopefully somebody else thinks the same. So we're just going to get started, and I'll kind of just talk along the way, introduce myself. So yeah, I started doing pottery. We'll start there, how I started, huh? It's always a good little stepping stone to a conversation. I started throwing in high school in 2020 when I was 18. I'm 24 now. I know time flies. It's kind of crazy to think about. But I started throwing. I took a pottery class at my high school. Well, it wasn't really. It was 3D ceramics was the name of the course. And I took it by accident because I did dual credit classes, so like college credit classes. A waste of time. I didn't end up going to college. Surprise, surprise. But I wanted to take art class because I like art, and the only one they had available was AP, like advanced 3D ceramics. And I'd never taken the class before, but they just put me in it anyways. And I caught on pretty quick. The teacher, Mr. Pierce, he's a super cool guy. Ooh, I dug way too deep into that. Okay, we're gonna take that off. That's bad. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yes, high school. I learned how to throw, and it was during 2020, so that was, the big year of COVID. So school, spring break turned into summer break. They didn't let anyone come back to school. And I was thrilled, honestly. I didn't want to go back to school. But I was also kind of bummed out because I really enjoyed throwing. I liked making pottery and seeing what I could do, And I was also kind of just learning it. So yeah, COVID happened. We couldn't go back to school. I saved up some money, and I bought a kiln, and I convinced my dad to buy me this wheel. And pretty much every day, dude, I wasn't going to school. I had nothing to do, so I would just sit and throw. I taught myself. I watched a couple videos, just technique wise, but I kind of just taught myself how to throw. And then I did that for about 3 years. And then I went to school, ceramic school, like a real certified school in Florence, in Italy. And I was there for 6 months. I loved it. It was a great time, great experience. And I unlearned a lot of bad habits that I had just kind of taught myself over the years. And I made some pretty cool stuff. Sadly, I only have one thing that I took home that I made. The other two, one is still I gave one to my dad, and then the other one broke. I'll show it to you later, the one I have. And then I made a lamp, pretty sick lamp, dude. And then I couldn't take it with me. It was too big to fit in my bag, So I gave it to one of my friends I met in Italy. He was a bartender there. He's a super cool guy. His name was Max. I gave him this lamp, and he still sends me pictures. He uses it all the time. It's in his bedroom. But yeah, after Italy, came back home. Needed to work, so I got a job bartending, and I really enjoy that. It's fun. Some days are better than others, of course. Dealing with drunk people is, it's interesting. But we have pretty cool regulars, decent money, and it's an Irish pub, and I'm Irish. So we get super busy for, St. Pat's, Oktoberfest, those kind of things. even though Oktoberfest is more of like a German holiday, I suppose. But we have a big, it's like in the downtown where I live, so a lot of foot traffic, and Oktoberfest, it's a big deal. They set up tents, beer tents and everything, and people will just come into the bar. But yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. I play the banjo as well. And surprise, a guy in Texas wearing overalls plays the banjo. But yeah. So, right now, I am opening this hole up. No homo. Actually, full homo, dude. What are you talking about? 2025. I cut out the last part of the first part of the last video that I took because the vase I made, I mean, it's cool. It's just a cylinder, but the bat, I was throwing it on. This thing is the bat. This thing is the bat. Something was wrong with it. It was super wobbly. It kept throwing the piece off center. So I was like, I'm not going to put that in. But that's also when I like introduced myself and everything, and I don't remember what I talked about. I'm trying to check the thickness here. Like I was about to start talking about feet, but I don't remember if I already talked about feet. I love feet. Big foot guy. For the vases, the foot of the vases. A foot on a vase or a bowl or a plate, they've all got feet. It's that little thing at the bottom of the vase or the bowl or the plate, that little circle that has that indentation in the middle of it, that's a foot. And when I throw my vases or my bowls, I like to keep the bottom where the clay meets the bat, I like to keep it pretty thick because I like to trim the feet. I like a really deep foot, dude. I think there's something about them. It looks so cool to me. And it's also just like a little, it's like a little trick, And if to other potters, it's like, it's not really a trick, I guess, but it's like, other potters look at it and they go, nice, dude. Because that's how I look at it. If I see a bowl or something, if there's no foot on a bowl especially, it's bad news, brother. You're gonna spill your soup, you're gonna spill your cereal, it's gonna spill. But yeah, I went, so I live in Dallas, like North Dallas, I guess. Yeah, not I guess, I do live in North Dallas. Not technically Dallas, I'm like 40 minutes north of there. But I go down to Dallas all the time. I go to Deep Ellum to get tattoos. And they were saying one of their buddies, the guy that was giving me a tattoo, one of his buddies started doing pottery, and he had some pieces in the shop, and I looked at them, and they had some nice feet, and I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. That's sick. And I'm trying to get my foot in the door, dude. I want some of my pieces at Elm Street Tattoo. That would be so cool. Honestly, might just go and drop them off, see if they keep them up or throw them away or what. Because the pieces that the guy made, I mean, they're good, but he just started. He made it's cool stuff. I'm not hating on it at all. It's cool stuff. But yeah, let's see if we can get this pool. Pretty decent pool. Come on, come up. Keep coming. Yes, sir, that was a good pool right there. Oh, it's a little wobbly though. It's no good. Try to straighten it out. Pulled a little too fast, I think. But yeah, so what else can I talk about? Bartending. I've been doing that for like a year. I low-key have some crazy bartending stories. That's kind of fun to talk about. Let's see. Let me think of some crazy stuff that's happened in the bar. I mean, literally last night, dude. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but these two guys were trying to fight in the street, and then I just, out of the corner of my eye, see these two cops running up and just take both of them down. But that's like usual bar activities. We're kind of like a dive It's an Irish pub, but it's more like a dive. It gives a divey vibe, really divey vibe. Well, I almost got ran over one time. Some guy was drunk, and I was like, dude, I was working, you know? I was like, man, I can't let you, like, I'll call you an Uber, dude. You can't drive home. I'm legally obligated to, like, not let you drive home. And he was like, I'm gonna walk. And I was like, okay, man, I'm gonna sit here and watch you. And if I see you get in the car, I'm gonna come up and either you're gonna get out and give me your keys or I'm gonna call the cops. And he does. He goes and he gets in his white Ford F-150. And yeah, I was like trying to get him to roll the window down, and he just put it in reverse and gassed it, dude. Almost ran me over. And I called the cops. Said, hey, there's a drunk guy. And then he came back 3 weeks later. And we were like, hey, man. He didn't remember a thing, of course. Ooh, why is that so wobbly? I don't like that at all. No, yeah, he didn't remember nothing. And we were like, we're not going to serve you, dude. You need to go somewhere else. After that, after what you pulled a couple weeks ago, we're not going to serve you, buddy. He wasn't too pleased about that, but also, I don't care, dude. You can't be doing that, you know? It's kind of dangerous. You're dangerous to yourself, others, you know, it's dangerous. Don't condone drinking and driving. If you're going to drink, get an Uber or a horse or something, you know. I actually don't know the law about that. I think in Texas, I could be 100% completely wrong. I think in Texas, I don't think you can get a DUI on a horse, you know, because, like, the horse ain't drunk, you know. And the horse knows where it's going, knows where home's at. And I guess the argument would be like, well, like, you're controlling the horse, but also not really. Like, horses kind of know what's up. They're not, if you're riding a horse and you're like, I'm going to run into traffic on my horse, the horse is not going to allow that to happen. The horse also has, survival instincts. It's not just going to do some stupid stuff because you're telling it to. But I don't know. I don't know if you can get, I don't think you can get a DUI on a horse. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to drink and horse. Okay, we're going to try to get one more pull out of this. It was kind of getting wobbly earlier, so I don't know how it's going to go. It's just wobbly at the top, so that's fine. We're just going to do a basic shape, bottle form. I'm going to put some handles on it and make it look sick. Get all this water out of here. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I talked about in the last video. I'm showing off my pieces. I'll edit that in. But yeah, I mean, working at a bar is crazy. It's crazy fun, but it's also just crazy, you know? There's a lot, drunk people don't know how to act sometimes. Which makes sense. If you're like a rowdy person, you get drunk, you're even more rowdy. If you're a sad person, you get drunk, even more sad. Happy person, you get drunk. Man, that's a gamble. You don't know what that guy's gonna do. He could be super happy. He could turn into just like a complete ass. Who knows? I see it all though. Try to straighten these walls out a little bit. Alrighty. I want it to be like straight. My nose is itchy too, and I can't itch it because I have clay all over my hands. Dude, my nose always itches when I throw. I think it's my body just being like, get clay on your face. Get clay on your face. Okay, we're just gonna collar this top in, honestly. And we're gonna call it smooth, brother. I don't really want to do much more. Might try to get a little pull from here. Just make it a tad bit taller, but since it's got that wobble on it, I'm kind of scared, you know? Okay, we're just gonna collar this in. Actually, let's straighten her out. Get that wobble out. Okay. Yeah, there's a wobble there. I can feel it. Probably see it too. Yeah, you can a little bit. Yeah, you can. It's pretty bad, dude. See that wobble on there? Ooh. The good thing about pottery though is like I see that wobble, you see that wobble, but you only see it because it's on the wheel and it's spinning. When it's not spinning, you're not going to see it. You might be able to tell it's a little off-centered, but you're not really going to see that wobble. Okay, we're going to try to pull this up as much as we can. Get a good neck on her. Pause. There's low-key a lot of innuendos with pottery. I mean, have you guys ever seen a video of someone pulling a handle? Don't look it up. No, I'm kidding. You can look it up. It is very, it's pretty phallic, I guess would be the word. I want a tall neck. Better get that neck up. We're going to try to pull the neck one more time. Hopefully it's not too thin, because if it is, it'll break, and then I'll be sad. Oh, yep, it's a little thin, it's starting to wobble. That's a good height, though. I like that height for that neck. That's good height. Like that height. Like that height, baby. Okay, let's cut that. Make her even. Okay. Kind of round that lip off a bit. Try to make her straight. There she is. That's not bad. Bottle shapes are so, I think they're just a classic, you can't really go wrong. And then you can do so much with it. Like, since I like to put a lot of handles on stuff, you can really have kind of like a bland, boring shape with this bottle here. Oh, that's not gonna fit. Dang, I should have tried to broaden those shoulders out before I collared it in. It's my bad. It's good enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. Try to straighten that out. I don't like that wobble up there, man. You can see it. It's pretty visible. Where's my rib? Where's my rib? Little bottle shape. Okay, now we're going to clean up this up here. This is just a mess up here, man. A little bit better, and it's a little uneven too. Try to cut it one more time without taking off a lot of clay. Okay, that looks, it's still a little uneven. I kind of just did that for no reason. round it out, flatten her up. And that is a little bottle. Let's cut this foot out. Okay. Slice her down the middle there. Pull that thing off. Oh, who are you? Who are you? Alrighty. Not too shabby. There it is. Nice bottle shape. We're gonna throw some handles on this thing, dude. This thing's gonna be sick. But I am now done for the night. I'm gonna go to the bar and have a drink. Or 7. Actually, I'm gonna cook some food. That's what I'm gonna do. I need to eat before I go out for sure. So you're just asking for trouble. Okay. Clean my hands off, wrap these pots up. This is what I made in Italy. This is the one piece that I have. And she's super light. It's a little dusty. But this is the one piece from Italy that I have. I used to do tattoo stuff on them, you know. Rock of Ages, little Jesus piece, Sacred Heart. The glaze made the underglaze run a little bit. Because in Italy, I don't know what the deal is, but I got clay all over it now. They use end globes, a lot of end globes, which are, it's pretty much just underglaze, like dried underglaze powder mixed with slip. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't mind it, but I prefer my underglaze, you know? So yeah. Let me get an example of a foot. That thing had a foot on it. I should have just used that. This foot is not that good, honestly. But this is a foot. This little part here. This is one of my earlier pieces, and it's not the best, but first to display. Go with this big Bertha here. Oop. I hear things clinking around. It's not good. Don't want to break anything. Yep, this big girl here, I made her about a month ago, and she is just gorgeous. She's beautiful. I love her. Spin the wheel a little bit and get a little action on there. Definitely, I submitted this one to the show. I'm definitely going to need to kind of clean her up and get all the dust off of her before the show. And I'm adding more dust because my hands are dirty. But yeah, she's pretty happy with this one. The way this one came out looks great. She's a baddie. Let's get another one. And yeah, this one's like black, and then the handles are palladium. It's the glaze. It's like a gold glaze. It does bubble a lot, which, oh my god, it bubbles up a lot, which it's not really what I wanted, but I mean, she's still pretty. There's a lot of bubbles like on the handle. On all the handles, really, there's bubbles. But she still came out good. I'm still very pleased with her. I put this big handle, a big thing on the top here. As you can see, it hit a little bend. But, I mean, I wanted it to stay straight up. But honestly, I think it kind of looks cool with that bend, you know? It doesn't look bad. Kind of looks like it's, I don't know, about to give you a high five or something. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna try to make it again with it staying straight. I think I just need to add some more like supports. I don't know. The kiln, you know? It's always a gamble. At least it didn't shatter, blow up. But yeah, that is just some of the things I've made. Ready. Get a towel, wipe this bad down. down there. Alrighty, boys and girls. We're gonna try to throw a bottle vase, something easy, something light. Put some handles on it later. I'm a sucker for the handles, man. I love them. I think they kind of, if you do them right, like with a lot of them, they kind of just like, you know, it does a really good job of like complementing the shape of the vase, like the flow of it. So vases are like a very organic. I mean, you can make them with hard lines on them, but I have a couple like that I've made. But simple bottle vase. We might put a hard line on there on the shoulders. We'll see. Let's see what we come up with. That's another thing too, is like I do like sketch a lot, like shapes for vases, but I just get some ideas. But whenever I come sit down to throw, I kind of just throw, you know, and I let the clay tell me what it wants to be. You know, it sounds kind of cliche, but that's my favorite way of going about it. I mean, I'll have like an idea in my head, but I think whenever you try too hard to make, you know, or have like a set idea on what you want to make, or like if I have a set idea that I want this to be a bottle vase with rounded shoulders, long neck, you know, then you're gonna try too hard to perfect that, and in the end result, you're probably gonna mess it up, or you're not gonna be happy with it because it's not what you envisioned it to be. And that's, you know, it's no good for anybody. So I just like to, yeah, I'll have an idea, you know, I want to make a bottle vase. We're going to make a bottle vase, but I don't have, you know, a strict idea of what it needs to look like. I want your things in my room, I miss you all the time. I stalk myself on the internet to see what you will find. Been listening to that song a lot lately. I don't know what that says about me, but it's a good song, you know? She's got a pretty voice. We are pulling the clay up. What this does is it kind of helps get out any air bubbles, if there's any. Also helps get out any kinks or like twists in the clay, if there is any. Also helps centering a little bit. I don't ever pull it really high. There's some people that pull their clay freaking wildly high, and I don't see the point in doing that. It's, you know. It's too high. It's too skinny, you know, and then you're going too fast. You push too hard, you could just add another twist. You know, you could really kind of screw yourself if you don't do it right, if you make it super high. But it does look cool. I guess for like the Instagram reels, TikTok, it looks cool. Gets some engagement, I guess. So yes, now we have a nice little mushroom shape. We're gonna bring the bottom of that in. Now she's centered, dude. That's what I like to see. I like to see some centered clay. This is honestly the hardest part of throwing, is centering it. Like learning how to do that took me a while. And every time I try to teach somebody, most of the time I have my hands like over theirs on like some ghost shit, but it just helps you learn, you know, if you have someone else kind of helping you, show you what to do with your hands, it makes it a lot easier. So I want to get this a little bit more uniform before I poke my hole in it. hole. Now we're gonna go all the way down. So yeah, that might have been a little bit too far down. Oh no, that's good. You want like a ½ inch maximum, and like, I mean, you don't want it to be, it depends, I guess. I used to be really big into feet. Pause. I like the foot of a vase, you know, like the bottom of it, where there's like the little circle and then it's indented. I don't know if I have an example, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the bottom of a vase or a bowl or a plate, they've got that little thing. It's a foot. And I used to really like deep feet, so like I would keep the bottoms of my vases or bowls like super thick, and then I would just trim a really deep foot. I just thought it looked so cool back then. It still is pretty. I still like it. Like if I see a vase with like a really nice like deep foot, I will definitely compliment it. It's honestly like the biggest thing. If you like, if someone, or if you go to like an art show or a trade show or something, and you see a vase or a bowl, bowls especially are big deals. They need to have feet. If you see something without a foot, it's kind of like, come on, man. Just put a foot on there, you know? I think I have 2, 3 vases that don't have feet, and it's because my chuck broke. I broke it the other day on accident, and I actually need to throw a new chuck. Probably, honestly, will do that later. But a chuck is like, if you throw something with like a really narrow neck, to trim you need to trim the bottom of it on the foot, you know, so you can't set that thing upside down, it's gonna break. So you put it in a chuck, it's like a big bowl kind of, like an hourglass shape. And then you can trim the bottom of it. It makes it easy. And that's the thing with potters too, is we have to make a lot of our own stuff. You know, nobody really sells chucks. And if you buy a chuck, I mean, come on, dude. Just make one. Okay, we're gonna try to get a big first pull out of here. I'm gonna try, see how it goes. There's a small twist at the base that I can see. Not a bad pull, honestly. The first pulls are always kind of weird just because there's so much clay. A lot of people use their knuckles to pull, like to really dig into the clay. I don't really. It gets too dry, you know? So I like to use a sponge, and I just push really hard. I push out with my inside hands, and then with my outside spun hands, I'm just coming up, like I'm making a little lip, pretty much like a shelf, and then I'm just pushing it up. And it usually will do that. It'll usually flare out. There's a little air bubble in there too, which is sick. It'll usually flare out. It's just normal, but you want to collar it in, because once this gets wider than the foot or the base of it, you're in trouble. The centrifugal force of the wheel spinning will just, you know, keep making it wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. And you can fix it, but it's tricky, dude. It's tricky. But yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. 24 years old. I'm a bartender. Just got out of a 3-year relationship. Super depressed about that. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really kidding, but you know, it's a joke, I guess. A bad joke. She's coming out pretty good, honestly. Yeah, throwing with like wet clay, or like honestly throwing just with like normal clay. Has the, moisture level it's supposed to. It's nothing better than good clay. Trying to make that rim a little shorter. It's probably got one or two more pulls. We'll see what we can do. We're gonna shape it, but we're gonna get one more pull out of there first. I need some more water. This is all slip. I use a lot of terms. If you're new to pottery, you won't understand. Like slip, for example, this is all slip. All this stuff on my hands, this is more water, but like this stuff is slip. Pretty much just mud, but we call it slip because it's slippery. And it has a lot of uses. You use it to, I use it to attach handles. You can, actually that's really its only use. What am I talking about? You can do texture stuff with it too. Some pretty cool texture stuff. But most of the time, handles, or like if you throw a piece that's, in two separate pieces, you gotta slip and score that. Trying to be a little gentler on this pull. Also, tip is whenever you pull, you want to kind of ease off the pressure the higher you get up the vase, just because there's more clay down here and there's less clay up here, so if you keep the same pressure, it's gonna, you want your walls to be even pretty much, so if you keep the same pressure, your walls are not going to be even. They're going to be super thin at the top. Nobody wants that, too fragile. She's coming along. Honestly, we might try to see how much taller we can get her, but I don't know, she's kind of thin already. We don't want to overwork the clay body. Honestly, it's kind of like we might do an experimental shape. Kind of feeling like I don't know. We might do like a sake bottle kind of shape. Like a soy sauce bottle, a little soy sauce, like sake looking shape. You see in like a restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Asian restaurant. It's a cool shape, low key though. Kind of just like really wide, and then little neck. Iconic shape. And like Japanese, Chinese like porcelain throwing. It's a pretty shape. They do a lot of moon jars too, which, oh my god, I love a good moon jar, but they are tricky. Very tricky to throw. You gotta slow your wheel down a lot and just be super gentle. Alright, that is probably going to be the last pull that we do. I also have a bad habit of just like leaning my inside hand against the rim, which does not help to keep it, not from flaring out, But I always seem to fix it. I'm just looking at it, seeing what I should do with it. It's a good sound, isn't it? Oh, I got some clay on my mic. No, hopefully these things are clay proof. I just bought them yesterday to do this. I'm trying to think. I think a bottle shape would be, actually, I think I know what I'm going to do. We're going to do a little experimental shape. I like the way this kind of ledge is here. See where that ledge is? I kind of like that. So we're going to kind of try to accentuate that a little bit. First, let me pull all of this water out of here. Sorry, I know you guys definitely heard that little burp. most of it is slip in here. Uh-oh. I also have a really bad habit of not taking the water out of the vase like as I'm throwing, which, I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but it does turn into slip, and it makes it a little bit harder for the sponge to soak it all up. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Even that out a little bit. Also have a lot of mirrors in here just because they're very important to throwing. I don't know how far we can bring this in. I don't want it, it might collapse, you know? Yeah, it is starting to kind of collapse a little bit right there. Let's pull that back up. Okay, let's try to get a little pull out of here. Make this a little bit taller. Honestly, never mind. I probably just have to keep that rounded out just because it'll collapse. Okay, it'll collapse in on me. Let's pull this up. See how thin we can get all this. I also, it's so weird. People ask me a lot, like especially at the bar when I'm working. I keep my middle finger, my nail long, because I play the banjo, and it's literally the only fingernail I keep long, and it is super cool when I throw because it makes these lines, and it also gets a lot of clay under my fingernail that usually stays there for a little bit. Did another pull. I'm going to try to get one more pull out of this thing. Just want to add some height. Ease off that pressure. Okay, that's good. That's taller now. She is super thin, super fragile. But we're going to turn her into something really pretty here. This might have gotten a little bit too wide. You have to be very slow and steady and tedious, because if you go too fast on those thin, super wide, lips, it'll just kind of wobble, it'll fold in on itself, I want to give it some shoulders and a long neck, like that old TikTok guy, long neck. And first of all, I'm just gonna kind of collar this in a hair, wide enough to where hopefully I can get my hand in there. Yeah. And I need to find my metal rib. That's what I need to do to shape this thing. Oh, it's literally in here. Alrighty, we're gonna shape it. I'm gonna just gonna make it flat down here, and then a little belly, just so the shoulders can kind of come into it. clay off of there. Let's kind of round this shape out here. Not a bad looking shape. Now let us try to get this in a little bit, just a hair. I did make it a little bit too thin. I'm gonna cut this so that way I don't have to deal with it. It's a tad off-centered, and you can tell in the lip of it. We want really defined shoulders on this vase, so just kind of like that, and we'll trim it to make them more defined. But now that we got that, let's pull this up. It's going to be super thin. Widen it out just a bit. And that is a vase. See what I'm talking about? How you can't come in with a strict idea. I said I wanted to make a bottle vase when I sat down and started playing with this clay. And now it's more of kind of like just a pretty decorative, like flower vase, I guess. Really anything. Just doing some final shaping with the rib. Check it out in the mirror, see how it looks. It looks good. I'm gonna get rid of that hard line there. Soften that out. And yeah, that is the vase. Pretty happy with that, honestly. It's not too bad for not throwing in almost a month. Where is my needle tool? I'm gonna cut this foot down. Take off a majority of it, and then we'll come in with it's a chatter tool, but I only use it to cut the feet. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Come here, man. Come here, man. Sometimes it gets stuck in there. The clay sticks to itself, it likes itself, you know? Okie dokie artichoke, it's not too bad. Let's kind of bring this foot in just a bit. I think it looks cooler, I think, when the foot is kind of more narrow than the rest of the vase, but now I need to fix that little lip there. Just gonna take the rib, straighten that out a hair. Okay, that is not too shabby. That is the vase. You're never really done when you think you're done, you know, with pottery. But I am pleased with that, and I will stop playing around with it. Clean the bat off just a little bit. This bat, I forget, it's a little tricky to pull up. There we go, got it. Maybe, oh yeah, I do. She's a little heavy for her size, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We'll trim her down, cut some of the weight off her. I like really light vases, I want you to pick it up and be like, wow, how is it this light? But there's also some extra weight from the bat, but you know, she's not too bad. I like her. Thank you if you stayed the whole time. This was my first time trying this. Hope you guys enjoy. Probably do another one next week, or maybe, maybe later in the week, depending on my work schedule. But yeah, thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe next time I'll kind of do a little bit more like in depth, how to kind of, how to throw, how I throw, just because everyone does it a little differently. There's no one right way to do it. There's a million ways to skin a cat. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and hope you enjoy your day. Hope you enjoy your night. Hope you enjoy your week, weekend, whenever it is you're watching this. Hope this was, nice and chill for you. It was nice and chill for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you, baby.